For today, I'm looking at Erna Brodber's work. Erna Brodber has written a number of novels, but this is her very first novel and it's titled Jane and Louisa Will Soon Come Home. This is a work I have again had from the 90s. I remember studying this as an undergraduate student at UWI. And so, again, my book is tattered, it's torn, it has so much marking on the inside. I'm just amazed by how much I had interrogated this particular work. But it is a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to revisit Jane and Louisa Will Soon Come Home. Erna Brodber remains one of my favorite Caribbean writers. She hails from Jamaica. We met her before when we talked about her nonfiction, um, Black Consciousness. We talked about her 7 Second Sunday seminars, and we had looked at the introduction as written by Rupert Lewis, where he was applauding her for having given her Woodside community their history. If you'll remember, she had traced the genealogy of so many of her Woodside community members. So, Jane and Louisa Will Soon Come Home is a work that never started out as a novel. She had intended to look inside people's heads, Erna Brodber says, and out of that attempt came this wonderful novel. Some have praised it as being comparable to In the Castle of My Skin by George Lamming in terms of the impact it has had, how much it delves beneath the surface and attempts to put forward new thought, new information, just offer a poignant, truly powerful look at the fragmented psyche of the protagonist Nellie and how she struggles to come into a full identity. I love this work because it is the first of, I'm going to say, Brodber's first three novels that presents the woman. And in this particular novel, we do not see very many women who are admirable. Let me rephrase that. There are some women who are not admirable in this work. But as Brodber writes one novel after the other, in my humble opinion, her women get better, they get stronger. And this work actually speaks to their potential. So for me, what is particularly significant, memorable, what resonates with me most in having looked at this work in great detail is how it ended, because I think the end prefigured or spoke to the stronger woman that we would later meet in some of Erna Brodber's other works. And so I wanted to read with you or for you from the very last chapter. It is called The Fish, and I will tell you the significance of that in just a few minutes. So let me read a few sections of it, all right? So I'm starting on page 145, and it's the start of the very last chapter in Erna Brodber's Jane and Louisa Will Soon Come Home, titled The Fish. And of course, the fish is symbolic. I do not know whether my mother's people needed that kind of protection. I do not know them. Granny Tucker is all we had, and I do not know whether she did. I only know that she prayed. I do not know if prayer is a kumbla, and I must pause to say that the kumbla is a central symbol in this particular work. The kumbla is said to protect, but it also binds you, and so this one kumbla becomes symbolic of two different ideas. It says, I do not know if prayer is a kumbla. I did not peep at her nor live with her. I do not know whether she wrapped herself in prayers and flew away at times from the troubles of this world. I know that she always knew things, and through her Jane and Louisa knew too. I really do not know how Granny Tucker managed, but Jane and Louise would soon come home, and they would know. Further down it says, and I love this particular bit, it says that you're to hold your heads up high. Use your hands. It is your life. Live it. That's all she gave her children by way of a blessing. No, they did not know. They couldn't say, for they had never ever seen her with a man. They could not even say whether a blessing was a kumbla or a prayer. A kumbla for Granny didn't talk to them much. Granny just prayed. They knew enough. They knew, though, that they were tired of holding their heads up high, scrubbing their hands to the bone, and dragging around life on their bottoms like Syrie the bitch in the hope of keeping male dogs at bay. It said that they had hands and a bottom, though. They could sit. That was something. Soon I should be able to sit too, to hold my head high and to use my two hands. It says further here, I'm jumping to page 147. Massa nigga, mind yourself. Me smell your dinner, but me no want none. We walk not by your leave or in your shade, but with your blessing. Last night I dreamt I was carrying a fish, a large-sized parrotfish, so large that it stretched my belly to the point where it became a square goldfish bowl with one fish stuck crossways in it. I could touch the tail where the nurse had prepared me, but no amount of bearing down could give birth to it. Strangely enough, I felt neither sadness nor frustration, nor even pain that the fish couldn't come, for after all, I could still see it. It will come. Goodbye, great grandfather, Will, Tia, Granny Tucker, Corpy, aunts and uncles and cousins. Goodbye, Aunt Becca. We are getting ready. That's how this work ends. This whole idea of potential is what is conveyed. In the Caribbean, certainly in Jamaica, the whole idea of dreaming about a fish usually speaks to pregnancy. And pregnancy usually symbolizes potential, possibilities, what is to come. And so this work ends by saying, it will come. I'm not bothered that I can't see what I am giving birth to. It's enough that I know that it will come and we are getting ready. And I thought that this work, if you read Jane and Louisa Will Soon Come Home, the main character, Nellie, is fragmented. She's searching for an identity. She is given advice by one female in her family or the other. Sometimes the advice contradict each other, but she is searching. And the book does not end with her having found, but believing that it will come, that there is potential to be better. I think that's a powerful message to the Caribbean peoples. I think it's a powerful message to a people who have come out of slavery and come out of such hardship, that even if you do not see a complete fulfillment of your potential, it will come. It will come. And so Erna Brodber ends Jane and Louisa on this positive note, the symbol of the fish, pregnancy, possibility, potential. That's what we embrace for Black History Month. It will come. I am Dr. Steph, and you have joined me again on English Expressions with Dr. Steph. Thank you so much for being part of this as we celebrate Black History Month 2024 under the theme Black Creative Expressions. I am coupling my love of African clothing and my love of books, and you are part of it. Thank you for having liked, shared, and subscribed. I ask that you continue to do so. Let all your friends know we're talking about the Caribbean and just celebrating or writers or authors or poets, those who are creative and have used their creative genius to push forward our own potentials and to awake in us an inspiration to be better than we ever dreamt we could be. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again next time.